Hey everybody, it's Captain Shane. I'm back in the 737. I'm doing some flight model testing tonight. So I've been working on this thing for months. The whole level up 737 U 1.0.3 update. I feel like I've got it flying really good, but there's one phase of flight that I've always been upset with. Not upset, not happy with. I haven't been happy with the landing phase, specifically as you're flaring for landing. The plane flies great, except in that phase. The elevator to me feels really touchy. Now I'm on a Honeycomb Bravo, an alpha setup, and it could be just inherent to the alpha, but I feel like as I'm starting to try to flare the aircraft, it's super touchy. And I over control the flares a lot, and I can never land this plane well because of it. Other aircraft I have good landings with. This one, I feel like I'm constantly over controlling the elevator. So I want to do some testing tonight to see if I can find a happy medium where I reduce the elevator effectiveness enough that I don't over control the flare, but not enough that I run out of elevator during the landing. So let me go through some theory crafting here with you in PlaneMaker to kind of explain how this works. So before we take off, let's take a look at this. The control geometry section of PlaneMaker is what controls a lot of your control surface effectiveness. So the stock level up 737 settings for elevator were 0.23, 0.23 for chord. So basically what this means is it looks at the horizontal stabilizer, and the size of the elevator is 20% of the entire chord at the root and at the tip. And what does that mean? So if we go over here to wings and click on horizontal stabilizer, you'll see the horizontal stabilizer here as rendered in game. Essentially, the way that the control setups are made, that elevator is about 20% of the surface area of this stabilizer. And then X-Plane takes... yes, HD, I'm talking through it right now. We're going to test out some elevator changes. Basically, the game will then take 20% of the surface area as a movable surface, multiply it by the amount of degrees that the surface can move, and multiply that by things like static, pressure and dynamic pressure, all that stuff, and it will render a force to exert on the aircraft. So 0.23 was stock. I misspoke when I said it was 0.20. It's 0.23 with a 20 and a 22 control surface movement. I've tuned down the elevator chord to 0.2 and 0.2, which means that the elevator is now a little bit smaller. But to compensate for that, I've increased the amount of degrees of the surface travel total to make sure I don't lose too much of the effectiveness. Because essentially, the chord times the degrees will give you the amount of force. Like the more incidents that you can pull with the surface, the more effect it has on the aircraft. So I've added 3 degrees of travel here, but made the surface basically 3% smaller. And I want to see how that affects the aircraft as we're flying. Now, this means that I'll need to pull back a little bit more during the takeoff roll because the surface is now smaller. And it means that I have essentially less elevator surface to work with during the landing flare, but a few more degrees of travel. So I'm hoping I can find a balance here where when I move by my yoke, since I'm moving a smaller surface, that movement will have less of a impact or less control effectiveness per degree of movement of my yoke, so that I don't over control it. Because I'm usually making very small adjustments with the yoke, but even at 1 or 2 degrees of movement are amplified by the size of the surface. I don't know if I'm making sense or not, but we're gonna try it out and see how it works. All right, I'm just trying to explain to you how some of this stuff happens. So I've already got the aircraft all set up. We're going to skip through a lot of the setup stuff here so we can get on with it. So we're down to taxi, takeoff, departure brief. Our flight tonight is going to be a quick one because I want to get a landing and a takeoff in, right? Or a takeoff and a landing. I don't want to fly for 5 hours to do it. We're going to go from Cincinnati to Chicago. It's like a 45-minute flight. It's not long at all. We'll get a good takeoff and we'll get a good landing out of it. Our briefing here is as follows. We're currently on the Amazon Prime ramp. We're going to be departing runway 36 center, which is very close to us. We'll have a little short taxi, which is great. Departing to the north on the J Bunch 3 RNAV departure. So our instructions here for runway 36 center are climb on heading 6 to intercept course 329 to Sigma. Wow, Sigma. Then on track 339 to J Bunch. There are no crossing restrictions or minimum altitudes that we need to be aware of or concerned with tonight. Alright, on board we have 43,000 pounds of cargo and 13,000 pounds of fuel. That is your taxi takeoff and departure brief. Let's go ahead and do before start pushback checklist. Let's get the
Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
A lower MFD set to engine, APU. Coming on now. Doors and windows are closed. Yaw dampers on. Electric hydraulic pumps. Let's open that window up. Fuel pumps. On. Parking brake.
All right. Looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
Alright, waiting on APU gens. So, I will say this. The last time I experimented with reducing the elevator effectiveness, I didn't quite get the balance right, and it was basically to the point where during the landings, I was running out of elevator and kind of crashing it into the... I basically had the yoke all the way back in my lap, and it just wasn't enough. So I took too much out before. So I'm going to try to do a little bit less and see if we can make it better. We'll see tonight. Basically, I'll walk you through, guys, as we're flying, what the elevator is feeling like for me and how it's different from the previous flight model that I have out in the open. Okay. Apparently our AP did not start. Try this again. There we go. Not quite sure what happened with that. Come on, maybe start. Interesting. Alright, there she goes. Okay. Let's plan our pushback here.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
We'll wait on that. Hopefully this is better tonight. I've just been over controlling my landings on this, and I'm hoping this makes it better. But there's a chance that we may have taken too much out, and now I don't have enough elevator to flare and hold a flare. We'll see. I think it'll be good. Okay, once that AGT drops to around 400 degrees, we should get our APU gens available. Alright, cool. APU gen in 1, 2. Cool. Alright. Alright, crew. Let's get ready. Brakes released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Alright. Starting... Ooh. You know what? Did I start 8 cars? Yeah, we're good. Okay. Starting 2. We have no rotation. Oh, I know why. Might happen if we open up the bleeds, huh? Oh, checklist fail. What did I miss here? Beacon light. Wow, I missed all. How did I miss all these steps? There we go. Rotation on N2. Oil pressure. Go on. Fuel flow. EGT. checklist is only as good as the person using it, right? Okay, good start on engine 2. Starting 1. Rotation N2. Oil pressure's coming up. Fuel on. Fuel flow. GT. Oil pressure lights out.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Okay, good start on 1. After start checklist. Anti-ice not on. Engine bleeds on. APU bleeds on. Packs on. Isolation valve, leave it auto. APU, okay, engine generators on. APU off. Alright, let's press on with the text checklist. Flaps set for takeoff. Flaps 5. Stat trim 5.25. Aircraft nose up. Takeoff data. V1 141, rotate 143, V2 147. And we got the speed tape. Transponder. Takeoff thrust setting 94.1.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Alright, girl, see you later. Alright, taxi light. Lower MFD system. Taxi clearance. Cincinnati traffic. Giant 3616. Taxi to runway 36 left from the Amazon ramp via Delta 1. Hi, crew. Let's see here. Clear to the left, clear to the right. Hand signal is good. Let's get going. Close the steering. Brakes. Flight controls. Ailerons left. Ailerons right. Elevator up. Elevator down. Right or left. Right or right. Okay, we're gonna make our first left turn up here. Okay, flight controls are checked. Before takeoff checklist, lower MFD off, VNAV, LNAV, ICAS, no alerts. We'll hold short here. Okay, exterior lights. Radar. Engine start. Oh. All right. Cincinnati traffic, Giant 3616 departing runway 36 center, J-6 departure. be a static takeoff. Alright, crew. Ready for takeoff. Start the clock. And power's coming up. Alright, this will be our first test of the elevator here. Okay, stabilize, set takeoff thrust. N1, toga. Thrust set.
knots.
Auto hold.
V1, rotate. How does it rate? You're up.
Already, I like it better. A little smoother.
400.
Go nav, VNAV speed. Yeah, I like this.
1000.
So far, so good, guys. That felt good on the takeoff. Checks, flaps 1. Speed checks, flaps up. Samantha. Well, so far during the takeoff, that elevator felt really smooth. I liked it. Flying real good right now, guys. Yeah, the amount of elevator input, it's responding nice and smoothly to my inputs. I like it. Look at that, I'm holding 250 really good here. autopilot's coming on. At the takeoff checklist, landing gear up, lights out, off. Flaps and slats are up, retract, auto brakes. Exterior lights. Engine start switches. Tube line. I like it so far, guys. Alright guys, so far so good. So to recap, during the rotation, I maybe had to use about 5 or 10% more of the yoke to rotate, but it wasn't excessive. It didn't feel like I was pulling back that hard. And it felt really smooth and easy to control as I was pitching for that initial 15 degrees. So I like that a little bit better than before. Alright, coming up on transition altitude. Standard, let's do our vision check at 190. Coming up on 190. Check. Right. Like altimeter's cross check. After takeoff checklist complete. Okay, 10,000 feet to go, and then we'll have a short level off, and then we'll be ready for landing at ORD. it was really good. HD, I was talking about it. It felt really nice, real smooth. I needed about maybe 5 or 6%. I don't know how to quantify this. I needed a little bit more elevator to rotate, but not a lot. And then as I was rotating through 10 degrees and trying to get that 15-degree initial climb out pitch, it felt really good. So I'm happy with the takeoff performance-wise. It was perfect. So that's not a concern. It's going to be how it handles on the landing that I'm worried about now. But takeoff was great. Really happy with that.
To go.
1,000 to go. FMC, VNAV path. Alright crew, we're leveled off here. We don't have too far to go. Top of descent will be 83 miles, 33 after, so in a few minutes we'll start our descent planning. I've already got the charts pulled up. Uh-oh, we got a bogey. Who's that guy? got Southwest Interceptor, a 737-800 like ours. I wonder if he's flying level up. No factor. Alright, we're close enough. Let's go ahead and go over our ascent and approach checklist. So let's review the landing data. Estimated landing weight's about 144,000 pounds. So, putting that information into SimReef, that gives us a flaps 30 VRAV speed of 148 with the V approach of 153. Auto brakes 2 landing on runway 28 center at ORD. So let's put in flaps 30, 148. That will be for our gross weight of 144. We get about 2,000 pounds of fuel to burn right now. Okay, that's auto brakes 2 is recommended. Arrival and approach briefing. Let's pull that up. So we're looking at landing on 28 center at ORD. The arrival ATIS says 36. Nope, that's wrong airport. Hold on. Oh, not used, huh? Oh, interesting. Now they want us landing on 9 center. Well, that changes some stuff. Yeah, let's change over to the Veek arrival, guys, because right now we have it set up on the Watson, and that's for landing to the east, but we're to the west, but we're no longer landing west. The ATIS is completely changed on us here, so let's reconfigure here. Let's see which star looks better for us. Watson. I feel like the Veek might be better. Yeah, let's go over to the Veek 5 from Bonnet. That'll set us up better. Let's go here. Yeah, that's a better arrival for landing onto the to the east. So let's go arrival. ILS. Well, let's do the Veek 5 with the bonnet transition, and then we're looking at the ILS. This is why we do this checklist, to make sure we catch these things. Switch over to 9 center, right? Is it 9 center? 9 center. Alright. And then we'll pick up 9 center from the final. There we go. Okay. ILS 9 center, no transition. Insert. And let's go direct Oh man, we already overshot something. We need to fix this. Let's go direct to Veek. There we go. I think we got it fixed now. All right, let's go over this survival because this has changed quite a bit. All right, so we're now on the Veek 5 RNAV arrival. You can see we're making our turn correction to go direct to Veek now. There are no crossing restrictions that I can see here on this arrival, so I'd like to fly this kind of like a VNAV descent. So I don't want to put in any crossing restrictions. I want the aircraft to kind of figure it out for us so we can stay as high as possible for as long as possible and remain efficient. Okay, so we're going to do VNAV path down. Okay, now let's take a look at the... So, probably going to fly the Possum, then make a right turn to come back around to land on 9 Center. Let's bring up this approach. So the ILS 9 Center. We'll fly the Possum, and then we're going to come around and pick it up at Meat. At Meat, we need to be at 4,000 feet, so we'll plan for that accordingly. When we get to Easel, we'll be flying continuous descent down. We should cross that at 2,300 feet and pick up a 3-degree glide slope down to runway 09 Center. Touchdown elevation is going to be 673. RVR is 1,800 feet, 1/2 statute mile visibility. MSA from the airport is 3,400 feet. On a missed approach, we're going to climb on heading 1,200, then a climbing left-hand turn to 4,000. Heading 037 to OBK VOR DME radial 097 outbound to Deer and hold. That's a mouthful. Basically, what we're going to do, guys, we're going to fly left closed traffic pattern if we do have to go around. Okay, ILS frequency is going to be 111.9. Approach course is going to be 093. Okay, the decision height, decision altitude is 873 Barrow. MSA 3,400 feet. Landing altitude is 670, so we'll leave it there. Seatbelts are on. Alright, we're all set, guys. And this is why I brief all this stuff, and this is why I review the charts and the ATIS, because we had initially planned on 28 Center, and now we're on 9 Center. And it's because this weather changed about 30 minutes ago after we took off. Okay, 3006, wind's calm. Alright, cool. I'll preload the altimeters in there. So, honestly, I'm kind of glad that the runway's changed, because we were going to be landing on 28 Center, which is way the heck down here, which is not ideal because we park at the Northeast Cargo Ramp up here. UPS parks down here, but I'm flying Atlas Air tonight. So landing on 9 Center basically dumps us off perfectly where we need to go to the Northeast Cargo Ramp. So kind of what I'm planning on doing is, when we land on 9 Center, I'm going to keep it rolling until we get to taxiway Mike. Well, Malps, it's not so much that I like O'Hare, it's that I needed a short flight to test my flight model changes. And this one made the most sense for me. Going from CVG to O'Hare is about 45 minutes or so. so I can get a good landing and a takeoff in without having to fly for 2 hours to do it. You know, I'm indifferent to O'Hare, but as far as trying to get a quick flight in, this is the best option that I had. Anyway, crew, we're gonna keep it rolling. After landing is assured and landing distance is assured, I'll probably pop the auto brakes off and coast it out until we get to taxiway Mike. Then we'll make a left turn on the Mike, and that'll expedite our taxi back in to the Northeast cargo ramp. Yeah, so we'll keep it rolling out to Mike. Left turn on Mike, right turn on November, and then right turn on November 2, and we're parking on Northeast cargo. Should be hearing the chime here any second now. Yeah. Once this gets to 5 miles out, you'll get a reminder to reset the MCP altitude. There it is. Alright. We'll set it down to 4,000 feet. That's as far down as I want to go. Right, retard. Throttle's idle. Our crew head down. That crew looking good. Alright, look good. On speed. On profile. I think I see old Chicago out there in the distance. Yep, there it is. I think. That makes sense. And then Midway should be like over here somewhere. Unless I'm looking at the wrong thing. That might be Midway there and then O'Hare over there. Let's look. Nope. That was O'Hare that we're looking at. And then Midway is basically right off our nose. So that's Midway there. This is coming into view, I think. And then that's O'Hare right there. I've never been to Midway myself. That's kind of a Southwest thing, and I've never flown. Never really flown Southwest Airlines out there. Actually, I've never been to O'Hare either. In reality, just in sim. Man, look at that place. It's so tiny. So many runways here. I can see, remember a couple months ago there was a Southwest Airlines aircraft they had to go around that short, very low altitude because somebody crossed a runway. I think it was right over here. They mistook this as a taxiway somehow, and they were crossing this main runway here. And but you can see this looks like a mess. I can see how there would be runway incursions here. Alright, HD, you know what? I've been kind of considering getting into another virtual airline. I love UPS, and I'm always going to fly for them, but I really like flying 737s right now, and I'm very limited as to what I can fly route-wise with UPS. I'm not even flying UPS, I'm flying Giant. Oh, oh, okay. I don't know what that was. All right. There's O'Hare. Anyway, like I was saying, I want to try to fly some more virtual airlines that have more 737 routes, so I can go into places like DCA and Midway and John Wayne in California. I want to fly these smaller airports because I feel like I'm a pretty good stick and rudder guy. Oh, altimeters. 3006. I'm talking too much. Cross check at 16. I feel like I'm a pretty good stick and rudder guy, and I want to kind of push myself a little bit. Maneuvering into smaller airports. 16,000. Check. Altimeters cross check. Start switches continuous. Oh, wrong one. Wrong one. Alright, speed's a little bit high. I'm gonna put some speed brakes in. HD, I think the hardest part about Midway is just negotiating the taxiways and the runways. Landing there is probably not that big of a deal. All right, speed brakes track. It sure looks small from here, doesn't it? But this is a monster of an airport. It doesn't look like much from up here, though. And then we're going to be landing on that runway right here. This is 9 Center. And we'll be parking over here at the Northeast Cargo Ramp. And then there's taxiway Mike right there. So that's where we're going to be trying to roll out to. Make a left turn under there. Right turn here. Right turn there. Yeah, you know, actually, I was thinking about rejoining Delta Virtual Airlines because they do have a lot of 737-800 flights. And I have thousands of hours in my logbook there. I could just reactivate my account. But I need to check their schedule to make sure they go into the places I want to go into. Okay, getting a little bit fast again, but I'm gonna let it roll out a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and turn into CTAF now for O'Hare. Let's see if anybody's on. O'Hare traffic, Giant 3616 radio check.
Yeah, 5x5.
Got you 5x5 as well, thanks. Hi, somebody's actually tuned in to CTAP tonight. Good for them. Alright, let's go ahead and do exterior lights. And approach checklist complete. Alright, coming up on a decel point here. Any minute now, hopefully. There it is. So the FMC will start pulling some pitch out of this thing, and we'll start bleeding out some speed. I'm going to put some speed brake in here to help it out, because we're about to blow through 10,000 feet without slowing her down. Yeah, see, drag required. Yep. A little late there. That's my fault. Oh well, there's no ATC on the night to get me in trouble, so... Alright, that's good enough. Speed brakes for track. Alright, I'm going to go vertical speed. Speed brakes. I want to get an MCP speed, vertical speed. Basically, we're going to try to get down pretty close to Meath. And come back around and pick up the ILS. Which, by the way, I forgot to tune. There we go. There we go. Well, it wasn't as cut and dry when I was looking at it. That, if you've never been to Midway or that's your first time operating there, those taxiways, some of those runways look like taxiways. It's confusing. I could see how that could happen.
And over traffic United 1089 taxiing to runway 9 right via Gulf, crossing runway 22 right. O'Hare traffic.
Alright, that should not be a factor. 9 right is south of where we're landing. Start reducing airspeed 200 knots as time as descent permits. Speed brakes are extended. Get my HUD out because I love my HUD, because I'm a HUD cripple and I gotta have it. Alright, we'll get ready for heading select. Alright, let's go ahead and select. Because in case my auto throttle kicks off, I want it to be matched up to where it is, where it's being commanded to. It just helps me keep situational awareness of where my power levers are supposed to be, because these aren't back driven, obviously, right? It just helps me stay in the mindset of what I'm doing, because I've had the auto throttle kick off on me on several occasions before, and these weren't matching
1,000 to go.
where the sim had them, and then I had a power issue here. So I just like to keep them lined up with where the auto throttle is commanding them to be. All right, let's go speed brakes, retract, and I'll go ahead and arm those. VOR localizer armed. I'll go ahead and start turning this in for the ILS intercept. Let's make it 063. 30 degree intercept. Alright, speed checks, let's extend. O'Hare traffic, Giant 3616 on the ILS 9 center approach. Okay, altitude acquire. Okay, VOR localizer is alive and captured. Altitude hold. Alright, let's arm approach mode. Alright guys, this is where we're gonna get to find out how this elevator is gonna feel. Alright, speed 180, flaps 5. Hey man, welcome aboard. Caught me just in time for the approach. Hopefully I'll put on a good performance for you, but I am running on some modified flight models, so I don't know how it's gonna work. We'll find out. Alright,
And O'Hare traffic, United 1089, short of runway 9 right, Fox, will be lining up and departing O'Hare 8, departure climbing, 5,000 initially, 17's the final, will report airborne, O'Hare traffic.
alright, let's go speed 160. Glide slope, gear down, flaps 15. Alright, let's keep it going down to final approach speed 153. 153. And let's go flaps 30. Before landing checklist, landing gear down, 3 green, spoilers arm, auto brakes 2, flaps to slats, flaps 30, altimeter's cross check, landing clearance. Road traffic, Giant 3616 on final 9 center. Go to land.
And O'Hare traffic, United 1089 on the roll, runway 28, runway 10, runway 09 right, O'Hare traffic.
2500.
Alright, autopilot's off, set misapproach heading Misapproach altitude is set. And auto throttle's coming off. Alright, let's see how she feels.
And over air traffic, United 1089, 1,600, climbing 5,000 initially, departing the area to the north. Last call. O'Hare.
Okay, a little high on a glide slope, correcting. Feels good so far, guys. Okay, back on glide slope. A little fast, correcting. $1,000 to go. Speed. Alright, here we go, guys. So far it's been feeling fine, but during the flares where we're going to really feel it.
500. 400. 300. Approaching minimums. 200.
Continue.
100.
Alright, here we go.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Oh, not bad. Oh yeah, I like that. Reverse. That was good.
80 knots.
Manual braking. Versus normal. Oh, that wasn't Mike, was it? I think Mike is up here. Did I miss Mike? Yeah, I did. Oh well. We'll take this one here. That should be close enough. That felt good. I don't know about you guys, but that thing felt pretty good to me. Air traffic, Giant 3616 is clear of 9 center at Tango Tango. Okay, I overshot where I wanted to land by like one taxiway. That's okay. I was too busy admiring my work. So let's get situated here, figure out where we're at. Get some air in this thing. Alright, so we missed it by 1. So we're going to take left on Delta, right on Mike, and then over to Northeast Cargo. Alright, after landing checklist, spoiler handle, up, retract disarm, flaps, auto brakes, off, radar off, landing light, strobe, runway turn off, engine start switches off, APU, start, clock, stop. Let's go. Step trim. Perfect. Let's go. A little Southwest taxi. Yeah, man, I'll send it over. I like it so far. That felt good, dude. Took a little more elevator, but I feel like I had a little more control over it, and it wasn't so twitchy. All right, right turn on mic, right up here. Man, that felt good. The takeoff and the landing was better for me. Alright, at the land checklist complete. Okay, right turn here. Taxi light off. I think our marshaller is stuck behind the tug. I can see him. Oh, too early. Ah, rookie mistake. Oops. Parking brake set, parking checklist. APU gens, fuel switches. Alright, trim air. Window heat, probe heat, yaw damper, hydraulic pumps, fuel pumps, the collision lights, IRS, nose light off. Alright, wheel chocks, ground power unit, parking brake, release, ground power on, APU off. Parking checklist complete. Alright guys, we made it to O'Hare. I would say that was a highly successful flight. So, just to recap, we increased the elevator travel, but reduced the elevator chord, meaning basically we made the elevator a little bit smaller in Playmaker, so it has less aerodynamic effectiveness, which made it easier for me to kind of fly the aircraft. So I have, like, if you can see my setup, I have a honeycomb Bravo, and the centering force is kind of high. So it's very easy to overcorrect and pull too hard, and then you get these jerky kind of pitch actions when you're trying to flare the aircraft. And I've always had a problem with this aircraft doing that, so that's what I'm trying to fix, and I'm really happy with what I've done with this tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and package this up, send it out for broader testing, and then I'm going to start working on the 700, the 600, the 900, and I need to fly each one, because each one has a different fuselage length and a different setup. So what may work on the 800 may not be effective on the 700. The 700, in my opinion, has been a little more sensitive to changes than the 800 has. So I need to be a little more careful with how I treat that one. But I'm going to work on that one next, because I fly that one a lot too. But I really enjoyed the flight. Thank you guys for being here. Hope you enjoyed the landing. I thought it was pretty good. Maybe tomorrow night we'll fly the 700 with my changes and see how that works out. And if that works, we'll look at the 900 and then the 600 last. Because I got a pretty sick paint job for the 600. It's Janet. If you know what that is, you're cool. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. HD, nice to have you aboard. Bravo Charlie, nice to have you aboard. I enjoyed watching your stream the other night. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.